Pete the cat, falling for the autumn. It is the first day of fall. Pete the cat is feeling blue. I like summer better, says. In summer, I can swim and surf, play at the beach. Maybe you should need to remind yourself of all the things you love about autumn, Mom suggests. Mom. Pete says, I'll try. Pete finds Grandma in the kitchen. She's been baking pumpkin pies. The whole house smells sweet and spicy. Pete loves helping Grandma bake pumpkin pie. He loves helping eat it more. After the baking is done, Pete picks up a squat orange pumpkin from the container and splits it in his backpack as a souvenir. Next, Pete heads to town in the corn maze. Pete and his friends wander through the long, twisty paths made of tall corn stalks. The best part of the corn maze is getting lost and having to start over again. As he leaves, Pete plucks a golden corn cob from the maze and places it inside his backpack. Then Pete visits Grandpa, who is knitting on the porch. Grandpa helps Pete with knitting needles and night yarn and cool patterns. Together, Pete and Grandpa make a long, cozy scarf for Pete to wear. When they're done, Pete chews a little ball left over yarn and places inside his backpack. Next, Pete goes to the hay yard, and Pete, Bob, Mom, Dad, Grandpa, and Paul, a wagon filled with hay. They go the bumpy wagon ride the park. Woohoo, Pete shouts. At the end of the ride, Pete grabs a handful of sweet-smelling hay from the wagon stuffed in his backpack. Pete heads over to the apple orchard, and where he calls Kylie to go apple picking. They eat sweet apple donuts and drink hot apple cider and fill their buckets with apples of all different shapes and sizes. Before he leaves, Pete chooses a round red apple and drops it in his backpack. Next, Pete stops by the park. He plays touch football with Bob and their friends. Pete scores a touchdown and everyone cheers. After the game, Pete grabs Bob a football and stuffs it in his backpack. It barely fits. Don't mind if I borrow this, Pete says. Finally, Pete heads back home, but the stop in his front yard, which is covered in bright yellow fallen yellow trees. Pete helps his dad take over the leaves to his big colorful mounds. Then Pete runs and jumps into all the leaf piles. After he's done jumping, picks up a bunch of red and gold orange leaves and stuffs them into his backpack. Pete's backpack is bursting with all fall souvenirs. He can't wait to show Mom. I love autumn, Pete says. Wonderful, says Mom. You know, there's a great decoration for Thanksgiving. So Pete helps Mom fill the basket with his Mentos. They place the basket in the center of the table. You did a great job, Pete, says Mom. It's beautiful, says Dad. Is that my football? Asks Bob. Just then, the doorbell rings. Thanksgiving guests are here. All of Pete's family and friends gather around the dining room table. They tell the stories, laugh at the jokes while they eat. Everyone is having a great time. Pete looks around the table and smiles. He loves lots of things about autumn, but Pete knows what he loves most of all year long. His family and friends.